Hi, welcome to Dust. You're just one step away to be able to start using smart AI assistants. So basically, if you just created your account, you should see something like this. If you don't see as many possibilities here, it just means that you didn't activate your trial yet. So you can go on the subscription tab and start activating your trial. All right, let's get started. So the first thing you can do is directly talk to the models. Here, for example, if I want to talk to GPT-4 and Claude at the same time, I can just call them directly in the input box. You can see that they're both answering at the same time with different phrases. That's pretty nice, but it's not exactly what we're searching for. What we want is being able to plug your data sources so that your assistants can answer directly with your data. For that, I need to head to the Build tab, and then I can click on the Connections tab. The connections are all the platforms that you can plug directly into Dust and that will pull data from to be able to answer your questions. For the sake of going fast in this demo, I won't be using a connection. I'll be using a website. This means that Dust is capable of crawling public websites and use them as data sources. So at Dust, we have documentation that's available online, and we'll try to get an assistant to pull from the documentation to answer us. So I'm just typing in the documentation URL, and I will get a few options to be able to say how much I want to crawl from it. I'm hitting save, and you can see that my data source is already synchronizing. All right, the next step is now to create an assistant that will be using this new data source. I'm going to head to Manage Assistants and click on Create an Assistant. Here you can see that we have a bunch of templates you can pick from. But again, for the sake of understanding what we're doing, we'll start from scratch. So here we're actually building an assistant. The first thing we need to give it is a set of instructions. All right, so I typed some instructions, gave it a role and a few instructions on how to answer. And then after clicking on Next, I show up on the Tools and Data Sources tab. This is one of the most important parts in Dust. I'm clicking Add a Tool, and here I can do anything on the current data source that I just added. The goal here is to be able to search through a data source. So I'll just select the search option. I will then plug in my data source, which is the docs.dust.tt website, and describe a little bit what the data is about. So now our assistant has a data source. We can go next and give it a little name. Dust will usually help you find good names. Let's call it Dusty. Okay, now we have Dusty. Our first assistant is ready. How do I use it? I can just go back to the chat tab, and I'm going to call my new assistant by using @ and type his name. Now it's time to ask our first question. Let's see if the documentation has anything about uploading files. I'm just going to ask my question and hit enter. Here you can see that the assistant is thinking and searching for data, and it's answering me exactly what it found in the documentation. Let's ask for something else. And here I've got a full overview of what's called a Dust app. I won't go over it right now because that's the advanced mode of Dust. You can see that I've got a lot of detailed information and even use cases that I can use. And here I've got the full link of where it came from. And if I click on it, I'm actually ending up directly on the right page. All right, that's pretty much it. You can get started and create your first assistant.